Alright, another late upload today, but at least it's an upload and I actually remembered to do one today. So progress. So I'm sure you have all seen the red button and the blue button questions. Just in case, I'm going to look it up, just to make sure you all know the question. Now, the basics of it, of which I'm sure most people know it, is that there are two buttons. Everyone in the world has to press a button. If you press red, nothing happens. You live. If you press blue, then nothing happens if a simple majority also presses blue. Otherwise, those who press blue will die. Now, I'm going to look up the original just to make sure I am not making a poor statement. So excuse me while I continue my search. I couldn't find the original from Mr. Urban, but I could find the one that most people know of from Mr. Beast. To quote, "Everyone on Earth takes a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue, everyone survives. If less than 50% press blue, only people who press red survive. Which button would you press?" And of course, there's the caveat to be honest, but honestly, that's like saying, don't lie when in court. There's still those who are going to break it, so yeah, that means exactly nothing. But that is the initial situation. Now, I will state my stance. I'm sure plenty of you will have different stances, feel free. But I am a firm supporter of the blue option, and here's the reasons why. We know that some people will press the blue button, even if by chance. Remember, everyone is pressing the buttons, and has to choose. Meaning there will be those, guaranteed, that will press it. We're talking 8 billion people here. Someone doing something because they're suicidal, for the lulz, or just because they don't fully understand the question is entirely in the cards. Not to mention, children are involved, which means you could have those who not only don't understand the question, but are just going to pick basically because they can. Meaning blue will have people voting for it. There is no way around this. And so, knowing that, there will also be those who will press blue to protect those who pick blue by accident or by uninformed choice. The former, those who do this and press blue to save others, are moral individuals and thus crucial for society because they are acting to save others and preserve said society. They are needed to maintain it. While those who will hurt others will pick red to protect themselves. If someone is so selfish to the point that they will aggress upon others to gain what they want, they are going to pick red and save themselves. And so those people are guaranteed off the table. They will live no matter what. And so if blue loses, we will lose our best, while our worst will have an even better position. That is just how the numbers come out. And so, we are in a position where, if blue loses, we are screwed. And since blue's win condition is easier to achieve than red in terms of the optimal outcome, 100% picking red versus only 50.1% for blue, or even any level of a simple majority, it is the more affordable goal to achieve to get blue to win. And that is the goal. Hopefully, is to achieve the optimal outcome. Bare minimum, you want to live. I get it. And so red is an easy alternative. But blue ensures that you can actually live and prosper in the long run, because it's status quo if it wins, even by one vote. And we're used to dealing with the idiots already. We're used to dealing with our worst at this point. They may be annoying, we may hate them, but we're used to them, and they don't have as much power because the moral also exists to maintain the society. Okay, what happens when you remove the moral? Remove the linchpin of our society alongside many other people, and thus basically destroy the global supply chain in the process. Well, the economy is going to go kaput. So you got the economy down, you got a lot of our best gone, and the immoral will now relatively have a higher population. Those selfish pieces of garbage who, as stated, will aggress upon others to achieve their goals will have better numbers compared to us. And considering we know that they are willing to hurt us even when we are the majority, those who are even somewhat moral, even then I don't know if I would fully apply, but still. If we know those people are willing to aggress upon others even when they don't hold the majority, what makes you think they won't take advantage of gaining the majority in many places? Or not just gaining the majority outright? They will 100% take advantage of it. That is certain. And so red versus blue thus becomes societal collapse or status quo antebellum, without the war itself. And so, as far as I can see, blue is basically the only option to preserve anything at all. Because, fundamentally, if red wins, our worst do. Because they will guarantee themselves being left. Meanwhile, those who aren't, those who are willing to risk it all to save others, they will be dead. And we can't save them. And so we will lose our best, while allowing our worst to continue living. In what world is that a good situation? It isn't. And so, the way I see it, blue is the only reasonable option. Or more accurately, blue is the only option I can see that is beneficial. There's plenty of reason to pick red. As such, I will not disparage those who choose it. My position is a gamble. I understand that. But as I can see, it is the only option we have to preserve what we can. Since if red wins, you're not really saving yourself, unfortunately. You're just choosing whether you die to the button or to our neighbors, who happen to be in a much better position without some of our best protectors gone, while our worst are able to prosper in the meantime. We don't win with red. We just choose how slowly we die. And frankly, I'm willing to take the Hail Mary if it gives us even a chance to potentially save those people and preserve the status quo, since it at least prevents the worst. And so I have to side with blue. I understand plenty of people have their reasons for the reverse. You're welcome to it. But I will stand with blue. And hey, when I'm dead, if I lose, at least you can make some good jokes at my funeral. Thankfully, this isn't a real situation, otherwise we'd all be screwed. There's no way this ends any good way, even if blue somehow wins, purely on the fact that, oh, that is definitely going to be a conversation piece. Hey, which button did you guys press? And you better believe people are going to be lying, manipulating, and using this to ensure their own ends. Oh, the politicians will have a field day with it. But thankfully, it's not real. It's just a hypothetical. So we can think about it honestly. And I do hope, whatever you conclude, that you think about it fairly. Because, frankly, the demonization just serves no freaking point. Cowardice can sometimes be justification for red, as can evil. But there are plenty of smart people who pick red too. Simultaneously, it isn't just the stupid picking blue. Do your best to remember that, please. The button debate, and the subsequent debates that arise from it, and create discussions, is a intriguing one, and one that is worth honestly considering. Because it is very much a risk. You may say, well, I pick red, so there's no risk to me. There still is. It's still a gamble with red, even if you don't fully realize it. Because you don't know who is going to survive. Your parents could pick blue, or maybe your friend, your lover, your wife, your daughter, son. You have no clue who is going to pick blue or red. You can make an educated guess on certain people like I have, but you can never be certain. You don't know who's going to live and die. And so, risking it on the basis of at least I survive means that the gamble is essentially that things won't be too destroyed when you have the button question ended and red wins. Fact is, you can never be too sure of that, especially if it's close. Honestly, even just having a billion people die, which could very well happen with the button debate, especially considering that a lot of East Asian countries do promote cultural uniformity alongside collective action, which means acting in the interest of the group rather than the individual. Something very similar to the blue button's mantra and mentality. It is very possible for that many people to die, and in such a circumstance, the economy is wrecked. Honestly, just losing 500 million is going to do a lot of damage. There's no way that this doesn't end with a massive financial shock if anything other than status quo wins. But it's still a gamble even for red. Because as stated, you don't know how many that is. It could be 500 million, could be a billion, could theoretically be almost 4 billion. You have no way to know. And so, it's a gamble for all of us. The question is, where do you place your chips? I put mine on blue. Feel free to make your own minds up on where you put yours. And I do hope you have a good one. Thank you for watching.